Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me today for another card making tutorial, and today I'm featuring the Queen Bee bundle from our mini catalogue at the moment. So that's the Stampin' Up mini catalogue that's running through till May. Really nice bundle. So I've used it a couple of times before, but I just wanted to again use it in a different way and do something a little bit more sort of detailed. There's loads and loads of texture on this one. Okay, something a little different from my usual style. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using. So we're just going to dive straight into it, and I'll show you what else we're using as we go. There's a whole heap of die cutting that's involved with this card, as you can probably see. So I've done a little bit of that ahead of time just to sort of save you watching all of those aspects. So all the dies and stuff I'm using are from the Queen Bee bundle, apart from this one. This is one of the stylish shapes. That's the largest circle there, which I've used to die cut a circle from some coordinating cardstock. This is crumb cake. I did this sample with Sahara sand, but I just thought we'd just mix up some colours and use some different greens as well. Okay, and then this die I've already die cut 4 sets of those in 2 colours. That's shaded spruce and old olive that I've used there. So on my original sample, they're there in the background. That's there is garden green and pear pizzazz. Okay, so again, just trying to mix up the greens and give you a different look depending on which colour that you decide to use. Alright, okay, so a few little alternatives there. So I've already die cut those little elements, okay, but there's a fair few other little bits to do as well. So let's move on and do the rest of that foliage and the flowers that we're going to use. So on the sample I've used soft sea foam and Highland heather to cut those. So I'm just going to bring in the mini stamping cut and emboss there. I'm going to put our number 1 plate on there, and we're going to do each of these we need 3 sets of those. So we're going to run these through, but it's going to take, I just wanted to sort of say to you or just show you that it's actually very quick and easy if you need to die cut a lot of stuff, as we're doing on here, that you can do it reasonably quickly. Okay, because we can fit those all on there. I might just knock that off just so that it fits there. As long as it fits on the plate, then it's going to go through just lovely. So we're going to sandwich that together on our number 1 base plate there. As long as the dies don't overlap, you're all right. Put our top plate on there, feed it into the machine, and just roll that through. Not taping them down because we're not trying to line it up with a stamped image or anything like that. And then these are just going to fall out, hopefully, she says. So that's come out, but we're just stuck to the plate, so we'll just lift that off. That sometimes happens. It's just because there's an immense amount of pressure that is applied to this as it goes through. Okay, so we'll just replace that on the machine. Pop this die back up there. We'll put this back on. Do another small flower there, and a large flower there, and we'll do that again. Oops. Okay, so here we go again. So that flower's popped bit of the dye, pop that over there, lift that up off there, and that one's just got stuck, and there's some little relief holes in the back of that, so we can just whack that out, and then we'll just do it once more. Just to finish that off. So you can see it's actually really nice and quick and easy to do this. Okay, so those are going to fit on there. Make the most of your little scraps of cardstock. These were just offcuts that I just grabbed in the colours that I wanted. So I just raided the scrap bins that I had. To get those done. Pop away that machine. Very light, the mini cutting emboss. It's very easy to lift up and down off your craft desk. I'll just lift those away. Make sure I don't lose my dies, so I'm just going to collect those up and pop them somewhere over there. That's it, so that I can put those away later, put them back on their adhesive sheet. Okay, so that's all of those bits and pieces done. So we're collecting up all these lovely die cuts, okay, and then the other thing that we need to do is stamp our sentiment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this excess cardstock. So this is what I'd cut the circle from, so we'll just take off that excess and use this. This is still crumb cake cardstock, and we want to be able to stamp our happy and our birthday so that they end up in the middle of that die. So we're going to use early espresso because that's going to show up nicely on there and give that a really good ink up with some light tapping. It's going to fit this way as well, isn't it? Yep. So we'll get our happy down like that. We'll do some light tapping with our birthday, and we're just going to line that up with the bottom of that image that we've already popped down, like so. Then we're going to be able to die cut that out as a single image. Okay, it's a little off centre, but I don't mind. It's going to be just fine. Okay, so we'll just use some low tack tape because we're trying to keep that steady. We're going to have to tape that down when we pop it through the die cut machine. So that's early espresso that we've done there on the crumb cake cardstock. But before we die cut that, because we can do both at the same time, I'm going to just grab our bumblebee. Probably shouldn't call it a bumblebee, I don't know, it's a bumblebee, can't tell. Lots of different bees. And we're going to heat emboss this in gold, so we're going to use our, this is Versamark ink. This is a clear sort of sticky ink. It's not an adhesive, but it's just it's sort of tacky and will hold the fine embossing powder that we're going to pop over the top of this image. So we'll just do that. Lots of inking, just like you would with anything else. And there's just a little fleck of something on my stamp there, so I'm just going to get that off. So we can stamp this just as we do anything else with some good firm pressure. And again, what I've done is forgotten to use my anti-static bag. So if this goes a bit pear-shaped, it's because I haven't done my anti-static bag. Okay. Really firm pressure to transfer all that nice sticky ink. You want to get that off your stamp reasonably quickly. You don't want it to dry on. So I'm just going to pop that onto my chamois and just give it a quick wipe now. And then I've got some gold embossing powder. Now, this embossing powder, it is a Stampin' Up embossing powder, but I've had it a very long time because it's still in this old blue kind of design. We've had they switched to a green design, and then now it's a black design. So I've had this a very long time. You use very little powder when you do this. It all basically goes back in the pot. It's a very little amount. So when you tip it over your image, this is what you get, and it sort of looks quite dull at the moment, and that's because we haven't yet heat set it. So like I say, all that excess powder can just get tipped back into the pot and cleared away really nice and easily using this lovely little tidy tray. This is the Embossing Additions kit. Okay, and we've got a little brush here that can just help us funnel all that into the pot, like so, and we can pop that away. Okay, so you get your tray with a little screw doodad as well. This beautiful brush. Now this is not only useful for cleaning up your tray, it's also good for just taking off any excess powder that might have strayed on, but I haven't done too badly on that actually. A few flecks here and there, but because we're die cutting it, it's not actually as critical anyway. So you get that lovely little brush, and then you get these lovely forceps reversible tweezers. They're metal with a Teflon tip, which means we can grip our cardstock and not burn our fingers when we are heat embossing. So I'm going to bring in the heat tool, and you'll see me heat the back and the front of this. Oops. And smudge my powder. Never mind. We'll pretend we didn't do that. I'm going to heat on the back a little bit, heat on the front a little bit, but heating from the back gives you a much smoother finish. So this is going to be super loud, so I'm actually going to mute it. But hopefully you'll see the process. I'm going to warm the gun up first on high power, and then I'll try and keep it as under the camera as much as possible so you can hopefully see how it goes. Okay, so gun going on now. So hopefully you were able to see, as I heated that, it turned nice and glossy. Okay, it does warp the paper a little bit, so it's kind of a bit bowed and stuff, but again, heating backwards and the front and the back minimises that warping a little bit. You just want to let that cool just for a second, so it'll be nice, it'll be warm. So just give that a little bit of a chance to cool down. I'll pop away our tools there, and I've got my my larger cut and emboss is off to the side here, so I'm just going to pop my sentiment on there, and then we've got our coordinating die for our bee here, so we can just pop that over the top like so. Just tack that in place just like that. As I just flip that round, we want another cutting plate on top. So it's a number 1 plate base platform, number 2 for die cutting, and then sandwich your dies and cardstock between 2 number 3 plates feed it into the machine and roll that through. Those dies do fit through the mini. Just with those larger pieces of cardstock, I just thought it'd be easier to use the larger machine. So they both have a place in my craft room, depending on what I am doing. So there's our lovely gold butterfly bee, and we can pop those to one side to pop away later as well. Right, that's all the die cutting and stuff done then, and we are ready to assemble our card. Just going to do a little bit of inking though beforehand, so just going to take the sentiment and the circle, and I'm going to grab one of my blending brushes and the coordinating crumb cake ink, and we're just going to add just a teensy bit of ink to these, just to give it some lift from the background. And do you know what, I'm not even that bothered if it's a bit on the sort of blotchy side. I just want to get a bit of contrast from the background, that is all. So just using my deluxe mat here to protect my surface. This is you can wipe this clean afterwards. So just gives it a bit of that sort of vintage sort of feel to it, just by adding a bit of colour here and there, just to sort of lift that a little bit from the base card. All right. So this is totally wiped clean. It's you can just spritz it in water, just popping this brush back, but I can't find where the thing is, so let's just leave that for a second. So I can just put a couple of drops of water on that and use my very well loved stamping cloth and just wipe away that ink, and that's ready to go for next time. Okay, so that's rather than just keep using paper and stuff, so that's more of a reusable kind of option. Okie dokie. Right, let's pop. These are the bits that I want at the moment. These are sort of more my decorative bits. So what I want to do first of all is build my my little sort of background sort of wreath thing. I'm just going to grab a silicone sheet, and we're going to use our multi-purpose glue, Tombow glue, and I'm going to just, this will be covered up, so I'm just going to pop some glue just there and secure that at sort of 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Like so. Okay, and the circle just helps you keep it in shape, really, to be honest. That's the main purpose of that. Then I'm going to pop some glue, going to twist that round, pop some more glue there. Okay, and I don't want to necessarily sort of stick the whole thing down. I just want it secured on the card, right? Because all the other elements are going to help secure it as well, and I want it to have a bit of texture, a bit of motion, you know. So let me just put those stamps away. I just want to grab my my pokey tool and just press that a little bit, and some glue's going to squidge out, and I don't mind. It's all going to dry clear. Those bottom ones are okay. I just want to make sure these ones, because it's trying to stick over the top of other bits and pieces. That's all. Okay. And then we want to pop that onto our card. So, crumb cake card base. So I'm just going to pop some glue down and transfer that across to the card. Just be careful, and the wet glue just gives you an opportunity just to sort of twist that around and get it where you want it. There we are. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to place is actually the sentiment, because that's going to sort of anchor all the other elements there. Okay, so I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals and just put a couple at each end there, and that should straddle across all that texture there. And secure to the base card. Somewhere around there, I reckon. And we've got all our pretty flowers. So we want 2 big ones, 3 little ones, so that's an odd number, and then we've got 3 of the garden green. Let's pop our bee on next. So while we've got the mini dimensionals out, we may as well use those. So just got, probably need 4. Oops. Just to secure those onto there. Mini dimensionals. You can get blacker dimensionals as well, so if you were using like a dark card base, it's quite nice to use those. Now you'll probably be thinking, gosh, why have we done that in white cardstock when everything else is sort of dark? But actually that was intentional, because I thought it would help it just ping out. I mean, if you didn't like that, you could do it on very vanilla. That's another one option. You could even heat boss it on the crumb cake, or even Sahara sand or something like that, or you could ink over it and sort of tone it down a little bit. But I kind of quite liked the contrast that it gave by using that. So you know, horses for courses. So we're just going to use my fingers just to bend those petals a little bit, because flowers aren't flat, and we're going to pop those into place. But before I put the next one down, I'm just going to pop in a bit of this, just to sort of add to this kind of wreath, have it going off in a little bit of a direction. Okay. Press those in. Then we're going to have a little bit that's coming down here. Put a little flower, sorry, a big flower there. Another piece of foliage in there. And we've got another couple of these little flowers. We can pop on. And there we go. We just need to add our little sequins to this. These are some new sequins that we've got, which are really cute. I thought they were perfect for this particular project. Petal pink, I think. balmy blue, and then we've got gold. And there's 2 sheets in a packet, and then you've got some small ones and you've got some larger ones. Okay, so you know, I like to mix the sizes up, so we do a little trio down here, and then we're going to extend the design up here like that, and that's it, it's done. And we've got a little spare flower there. What do you think? Something a little bit more sort of fussy than normal. Loads and loads of texture on there. Hope you like it. Links will be in the description to everything I've used, so you can just look back and check on what colours I've used. But yeah, really enjoyed making that. I thought it was really, you know, it's nice to throw some stuff at something and make something a little fussier. Alright, that's it for me today. Hope you're staying safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.